I don't know why for the life of me Tyler Perry just won't come out the closet. And I know it's not really nobody's business, what people prefer in their bedroom. But it's given that you're screaming to come out and you just can't. And I'm going to be honest, it's given perverted just a little teeny bit because you're taking advantage of people that are vulnerable. You get what I'm saying? Like, for ever since I want to say I was a little girl, for the longest time they've been saying Tyler Perry sleep with a lot of that his actors, the men. We all know for the most part he has handsome men in his plays, his movies. But I've always been one of those people that just because I may hear something about a person, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I don't care if it's 5 or 6 people. It could be a group of people saying the same thing. You know, I'm not one of those people that say, oh, where there's smoke, there's fire. Everybody ain't lying. I'm not going to say, that because sometimes people jump on a bandwagon. You know how black people do. One person say something and everybody else feel like they got to jump in it too. Yeah, well, I heard it too, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, I'll say this. I'm always leery of men that dress up as women. For the most part, I have gay guy friends, but so I'm not judging you, but I've always been leery of men that put on lipstick and a wig, and portray as a woman, you know, and claim to be heterosexual. Now, not once have I ever heard Tyler Perry say he was heterosexual. I know in a perfect world, people say, oh, if a person got a child, that mean they're not gay. That's not true. There's a lot of men out here that are married to women and have children and still engage in sexual activities with other men. That's the furthest thing from the truth. I told you all that I have a gay guy friend. To this day, he takes what's that stuff called? Viagra. He has a wife, he has 2 kids, and he confided in me and he says when he's with his wife, he has to take Viagra to get it up, but when he's with a man, he doesn't have to take Viagra. And like I always tell him, I said, well, if you have to get assistance and, let's just say it, being horny, or making yourself rise, or when you're with a woman, it's probably because you're not attracted to a woman, versus when you're with a man, you feel a lot more comfortable. So I say that to say it's a lot of men that, and it's not my place to tell his lady. It's not my place. And I'm his friend and I'm not going to tell it, So I know my cousin always say, you should tell as a woman, you should, no, I'm not, that's not my place. At the end of the day, my loyalty is to my friend, that's not my place. And you won't Jane Warfield me, okay? And at the end of the day, that's my friend. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But anyway, nonetheless. So I say that to say it's a lot of men that are with women and they are unhappy. But like my friend, his mother doesn't like gay people. His family doesn't like gay people. So he's unhappy. He's unhappy. I see him smile the most when he's around his little fake cousin. She thinking it's the cousin. I see him the most, but the whole time that's his lover. But that's not my place, right? But just because Tyler Perry has a child, I see people in the comments, oh, they're lying on him. He has a child. He has a son. That don't have nothing to do with nothing. And I'm also leery of men. When I say I'm leery of men, meaning I'm leery of the kind, like I wouldn't want to be involved with you sexually. You get what I'm saying? If I see you dress up as a woman, I don't care if it's a role or not. I just don't care. I just feel no, and I'm also leery of the ones that go out and procreate a lot of children or in and out of relationship because it's given like, you ain't found nobody that you interested in. You ain't found nobody yet that you want to settle down with, especially at a certain age. Here's the thing. I told y'all when the Diddy stuff was going on, I told y'all even back when I did the video on Christian Keys on YouTube, I told y'all that it was going to be more people to come out. Did I expect a white guy to come out? I'm going to just be honest, no. I expected it to be black people. I did. I'm just being honest because it seemed like something that like a black people would do. You know, take all the cars, take all the trips, take all the opportunities. You know, basically take all the handouts. You know, use the situation. You know, kind of like the Cassie situation. Get what you can get out of the situation, and then try to come back and sue and act like you the damsel in distress as if you wasn't benefiting from the situation. But I expected black people to do it. And I know somebody probably saying, well, how you gonna say just black? Because let's just be honest, that's a trend in our community. Benefit from the situation and try to come back. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it so many times in these type of situations. But when the white guy came out about it, it was kind of like, whoa, he's doing it with the white folks too. And that's a huge no-no. Because white folks believe in a paper trail. You know, white folks believe in a paper trail. Black folks gonna get on live like Christian Keys. I'm just saying, they gonna get on live and try to expose you. They gonna go about it, you know, the not so smart way. You get what I'm saying? Let's just be honest, right? But the white folks, they gonna put it in paper. When they say he went to the EEO, like he was not playing. He was not playing. Taking it to the equal opportunity. Y'all know I work in HR. That you not playing. When somebody say EEO, but everybody like you better duck. Like he took it. When I heard them drop the EEO, that's like you don't that's they not playing. They not playing with you. You know what I'm saying? So I would not doubt if he get every dime. Um I don't, to be honest, I think they gonna settle. They probably settle for a little less. But I wouldn't be surprised if he get all of it. But like with most settlements, they not, they're gonna say, oh, they decided to settle for an undisclosed amount. Or to kind of be like Christian Keys, it'll just go away on its own. We wouldn't hear anything else about it. Um Dale, I watched the Oval. I mean, the first 4 seasons was pretty good. I fell in love with the show very early on. But after season 4, it seemed like season 5, it had some good episodes. It didn't have some good episodes. So they said Dale stopped playing on the show. Well, last time I seen the show, Dale was up there. I'm gonna tell you where I left off. Because it won't so good after, let's see, where did I leave off on the Oval? Last time I seen the Oval was when the vice president and the wife, we found out that the vice president was fucking Victoria. You see what I'm saying? Victoria was that girl, but sometime with the vice president, was she the second lady? I understand Victoria's supposed to be a bitch, but it got to a point where it was just extremely mean girlish, and it was hard for me to see. It was hard for me to bear. Like I couldn't keep watching it because even though second lady got the best of Victoria when they was fighting, she definitely got the best of her. It was still hard for me to see because it was like she was rejoicing in this girl pain. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, it ain't nothing wrong with rejoicing in somebody pain. Especially if they did something to you. If they did something to you, is nothing wrong. We are all human. We have all seen bad things happen to people that used to, fuck with us or do something to us. And don't tell me I'm the only one that sit up here like that's what that bitch get. Ha ha ha. I'm glad they did it to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, a job last year, um, it was a girl there that was, I had just came there, and she was in the Scream Mean Girl. She was in the Scream Mean Girl, and I had did nothing to this bitch. So my boss gonna tell me, she was bullied. That's why she's like that. And like I told her, I said, well, believe it or not, I used to be bullied. I used to fight growing up, and my boss gonna tell me some shit. Oh, I don't believe you. You being bullied. I said, just because I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder and I don't hold everybody else accountable, that doesn't mean I haven't been through something. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that. So the bitch, she was really mean. Like, and the boss took her side. Like, well, she has an excuse to be that way because she was bullied. And let's just say I found out something happened to her on the job, right? They by me being HR, I'm telling you, them bitches had no respect. You know what I'm saying? They felt like because I looked like a child, they could talk to me any kind of way. But by me being HR, I had access to certain information. Let's just say that something happened to her on the job, sexually, right? And let's just say, it happened on the job, and for me, for the life of me, I don't understand why she would come back to the job after that. But I'm gonna just be honest, I didn't feel bad for her ass. I'm sorry, I didn't feel bad for her, and let's just say it was a lot that had happened to her on the job. One incident was sexually. Y'all already know where I'm going with that. And it was another incident where some girls had teamed up on her as well physically. But of course, they're not there anymore. I didn't feel bad for any of it. And I told her when I left, because she was the reason why I got fired. And I should have known something was up. That's a story time for another day. Because anytime you can get a DON, a director of nursing, fired, I should have known something was up. Like, anybody that ever gets into it with this bitch gets fired. So, including me. And I'm HR. So, I was HR at the time. So, I should have known something was up, because it was been so many people that, but my deuce was like, because my deuce has been in in management for the longest time. And my deuce was like, she was like, well, she must have something on them for everybody to keep getting fired. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what you mean she got something on them? Like, she got dirt on them. You know what I'm saying? To the point where they can't fire her. But then I'm like, I'm saying to my dudes, I'm like, Ma, you don't know what you're talking about. She's like, I keep telling you, I've been in management for many years. She must got something on them that they cannot fire her. Because anytime people keep getting fired like that, she got something on them people. So, come to find out, my dukes was right when we all sat down in the room, me, the administrator, the AIT, you know, I found out she did, had something on them, and that explained why they could not fire her. It seemed like nothing that this girl did, she was ever held accountable. You know what I'm saying? So when I found it out and they fired me and she was laughing and shit, I said, that's why I ain't feel bad for you when that shit happened to you. Because some people, but anyway, nonetheless, y'all know I get off topic, so we're gonna bring it back around. It's nothing wrong with, that's the human side, human nature. You see shit happen to people, that did something to you, it's human nature, right? But nonetheless, we're gonna bring it all back around. you know um Dale. We're gonna go back to Dale. I call him Dale from the Oval. That's where I first met Dale on my TV screen. Not met him in real life, but y'all get what I'm saying. Dale. We're gonna bring it on back to Dale, right? Dale saying Tyler Perry did something. Do I believe it? Yes. Not just because he's a white man, but Tyler Perry has always scrubbed me to be bisexual. I give him bi. I'm not even gonna say he gay. I'm gonna give him bi. I give him back, right? And that's being generous, okay? Cause I believe he sleeps with men and women. I believe he does, right? He does have a son. Again, my undercover friend. I'll give him by. He does sleep around with women, even on his wife. His wife doesn't know. I mean, his wife. Little do his wife know he is out in these streets, baby, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just a friend, and he sleeps around with different women because he's trying to see, can he bring himself. He said sometimes it's hard for him to get it up. It's hard. He had to take a pill just to nut in his wife. They have a child. He had to take a pill for that, but when he's with a man, he tells me it's not that hard. So not to be so vulgar, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know why Tyler Perry doesn't come out the closet. He's in his 50s. He's approaching the winter of his life. He has money. I'm not saying that you old people, I'm not saying every time you meet somebody, you got to say, hi, I'm Tyler Perry and I'm gay. I'm not saying you have to do that, but you know what I'm saying? Do like the rest of them. Come out as pan or sapio. You know what I'm saying? Come out that way because, why I believe a lot of these celebrities come out as pansexual, as sapiosexual? Because when they out in public holding hands or kissing, the same gender, I believe they don't want people to say, oh, this person was caught with a man. You see what I'm saying? They want to be able to live their life, but they're too in denial about admitting that they're bisexual. Because a lot of people, you'll hear them say pan or sapio, but they don't, it's like it's too hard for them to say they bisexual, they like men and they like women. So they'll try to put a title on it and say, oh well, I'm pan or I'm sapio, because they don't want to admit that they're bi. So I feel like he should do like Wayne Brady and come out as pansexual. That way you don't have to creep as bad. So if you seen flirting or holding hands or kissing, you know what I'm saying? Um the same gender, you know what I'm saying? People won't troll you as bad, because it's kind of like Jada Pinkett said when Augustino, whatever his name is, you know, if you approach the rumor head on and say, hey, this is what it is, you know, this is what it ain't, it takes all the scandal out of it. That's why she approached it head on with Augustina, because if she approached it, you know, basically it's nothing that um you can't spray them with their truth, because they already addressed the issue. Kind of like what's his name, Andrew Caldwell. Was not Andrew. Is it Andrew? I might don't charge it to my heart. Um, Not the one that said I ain't gay no more. I don't like men's no more. It was that. What was that politician? His name was Andrew. The black guy, was he like from Georgia? Oh, don't forgive me on it. Funky I even reported on it so many times. What was that politician name? I might got the name wrong. Don't charge it to my heart. Um, I might put a picture up of him so I can refresh y'all memory. If the name is right, I'm not gonna put a picture up. But if I don't have the name right, I'm gonna put a picture up of him. The one that got caught in that hotel room with the drugs and he was butt ass naked. And he came out as bisexual. And then the wife was like, yeah, I already knew about it. I don't believe she knew. I believe she just said that. So it's like people can't use it against her, right? But do like him, come out as bisexual. Once he came out as bisexual, you didn't even hear people reporting on it as much, because it's like, okay, he done already admitted to it. Whether he was out or not, it is what it is now. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like he should come out as pan or sapio. That way he don't have to creep as much. So when you seen out on boats and you got your friend with you, you ain't got to be looking over your shoulder every 5 seconds to wonder if they taking pictures, because you've already came out. Come out, do like the rest of them. Come out as pan or sapio, or you know what I'm saying? How Wayne Brady said, hearts not parts. You know what I'm saying? That's his way of saying he like all parts. You know, that way can't nobody say, oh, we saw Wayne Brady with a man back in the jacuzzi, or we saw Wayne Brady back in the SUV with a man. You know, he's already came out and said he's attracted to all things. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like Tyler need to come on out. It's 2025. You know, people are a lot more accepting, and if they don't want to accept you, who the fuck cares? You filthy rich. You have a child. Um, you know, some of us still have respect for you. I do. Maybe a lot of people don't, but I got respect for you. I fucks with a lot of your plays to this day. I still watch Madea Goes to Jail play, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, the play and the movie. I could do bad all by myself. I like it. Some of them I don't care for, but some of them I do. You know, I feel that you have urges, and I feel like men are your weakness, and you get around men and you just can't control yourself. But you got to remember, friend, that you got money, and people would weaponize that. You get what I'm saying? You are one in very few. You are a filthy rich man. So you gotta control yourself. You know, you get around dick and balls and it's like you just lose your mind. You know, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but you gotta remember, friend, that you got money. And people will use that against you. You know, so you need to get you a little friend that like a lot of sex and have an open relationship, but just be, you know, and start making people sign a disclosure. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you want to get frisky with them and they want to get frisky, make them sign something that, you know, this is completely consensual. You know, however they said, you know, both of y'all want to do the nasty. You know, that way they can't come back and try to sue you and act like, you know, you took advantage of them. You know how people do. You know, just have them sign something. They say Beyonce had everybody around her sign a form. You know, had them sign, not to say like she does stuff like this, but it made sense to why celebrities have people sign stuff. because it protects them. So when you get your little friend, have them sign something like, okay, we about to do the nasty. You okay with doing the nasty? I want to do the nasty. So we about to go do the nasty. So go have them sign some shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it sounds like a lot, but I bet you it protects yourself. I bet you it protects yourself. How Beyonce had in the song, she said, if you want to party with the queen, you gonna have to sign a disclosure. You see what I'm saying? That's some real shit. Just to have a party. It may not be nothing going on crazy there, but she gonna protect herself. So you can't come back and try to lie on her or try to make her seem like, she did some stuff that she wasn't supposed to do. You protect yourself because you are on a different caliber. You have a different kind of coin. So you have to protect all your assets. It makes perfect sense. And I think you need to come out the closet and start handing out more disclosures. Absolutely.